Okay, so welcome back to today's last session. Our last speaker is Hikmet Fındık. Even in the opening speech, there was a question about like how to distribute awards fairly. And fortunately, Hikmet Fındık will describe us. Hüseyin Hikmet Fındık is a 22-year-old, is a sophomore of computer engineering in TED University. In his MEN career of 3 years, he has participated in more than 25 conferences. He won awards in every conference he participated as a delegate. Highlights of his MEN career include being a member of academic team in conferences such as Muntiar and Eurasia MEN, while preparing himself to lead the academic team of TEDUMUN 21. He is looking forward to sharing his experiences on award policies and their importance of the MEN conferences. So, stage is yours.
Thank you, Azra. I believe the screen is okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Firstly, as Azra said, I would like to express my gratitude towards the importance of the topic because our participants will also, I believe, agree with me that most of the time after conferences, most of the parts that we remember about the conferences are the awards. So the awards are a big part of our MUN experience and MUN society. So we believe that there should be some distinct rules and some efforts that actually made this thing more accurately, I believe. Firstly, actually, we will start with the existing reasons of awards in Model United Nations society and Model United Nations system. It is actually an important point because I believe that most of you will understand me. The reason that we have the awards in Model United Nations is that basically motivate the delegates. Because after some points, you may also experience that delegates are starting to attend conferences for only award purposes. So it is actually something debatable that should we allow people to be in Model United Nations just because awards. I believe personally that lastly, in the last year, the current system towards awards in Model United Nations basically damages the atmosphere that we are trying to create in Model United Nations. Because while we are discussing the world problems, basically the most important things in the world to be solved, most of the people that are attending are trying to act towards awards. So I believe personally that in the upcoming years, we may even see some conferences that will not even apply any kind of award related policies. Of course, that's my opinion. But to move on, for accepting the fact that we have awards in this community, I would like to start with the types and classifications of these awards. As you all know, the most important award that you can get from a Model United Nations Conference committee is the Best Delegate Award. About the Best Delegate Award, actually, I would like to underline some important things because I believe most of the time, people are confusing stuff while talking about the Best Delegate Award. The Best Delegate Award is not an award that should be given to the perfect delegates. Basically, most of the time we are seeing some chairs, some committee directors, some undersecretary generals that claims that there is no any kind of Best Delegate Award in their committee because they basically didn't like the way that their delegates actually act. But the Best Delegate Award basically means that the best in that committee. So if you have a committee and if you have discussed for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, doesn't matter, that should be the best that actually leads the others. So I believe that you can basically understand the difference. So the existing best delegate award to be given for the delegate actually acted best upon the Model United Nations Society. Our second award type is the Outstanding Delegate Award. Basically, we are giving the Outstanding Delegates Award to the delegates who acted pretty well and contributed to the topic, contributed to the solution parts, basically contributed everything that we actually succeeded throughout the conference in the committee. But most of the time, the difference between the Best Delegate Award and the Outstanding Delegate Award so little. I mean, uh, most of the time, chairs, committee directors are having some tough times to basically choose the best and the outstandings. Our third type is the honorary mentions or honorable mention awards. This is the type where you know that in the committee there were some people that basically contributed sometimes well, contributed to the solutions sometimes, told pretty good sometimes, but for all these acts, it was sometimes. You believe that their existence was helpful enough, but not helpful enough to basically carry out the whole committee. We are giving these people's honorable mention awards. And of course, I believe that one of the most important ones is the Promising Award, because the Promising Award basically entered our Model United Nations dictionary in basically 2, 3, 4 years ago, because there was a need for first timers to actually be on that stage in the closing ceremony. So we are giving the Promising Award to the best delegates in the committee from the first timers, because as you may realize that being a first timer is something so tough in Model United Nations that you can have some difficulties. Of course, this is something so natural. So we are giving the Promising Award to the delegates that basically did pretty good in their first time. To move on, since we solved the award types, basically the rest is all about deciding who will be actually the best delegates, who will be the outstanding delegates, and who will be honorable, who will get honorable mentions, and how we can decide the Promising Award. About that, of course, this topic is something that can be changed from people to people, because in the upcoming years in your MUN life, you will also realize that your committee boards, your chairs will have different characters and will have different priorities towards their award decisions. So I will try to actually sum up the all possible conditions that your committee board should basically take account while deciding on the awards. But you should not forget that the lists that your committee board have, the importance that these lists have can be changed actually. But for in my opinion, I believe that the ambition and the effort of a delegate is a critical skill that you should looking for in a delegate, because in a committee you will realize that most of the time half of the committee or more than half of the committee will not be that much ambition, will not have that much ambition to move on in the topic and find some solutions that will help you to actually cut out the problem from the world. So if while deciding the best 10 people in your committee, you should take account that these people should be ambitious enough to find solutions. After that, of course, these people will have some ideas because, as you know, in the committees we are discussing a variety of problems that basically concerns the people of the world. The good ideas for solutions basically shows that people actually thought about that topic and basically synthesized something in his or her brain before the conference. This is something so crucial and so important because when you see that one of the delegates are giving most of the time working and logical ideas, that then you can understand that that delegate actually worked and think enough to come up with something that can be actually make the world a better place. So this is one of the most key things that you can find while deciding the awards, and of course I should underline that the best delegate award. Of course, a good resolution paper is something that stays on our road to the Best Delegate Award, but I would like to kindly remind you that writing the resolution paper or leading the resolution paper is not the only way or is not guarantee your way to the Best Delegates Award or any other kind of awards. Because in my MUN career, I saw so many delegates that actually did not contributed enough in the debates, but they actually come up with good effort in the resolution paper writing process. But you shouldn't forget that getting an award is something basically complex that requires you to contribute any second in the committee. So even though writing a good resolution paper or leading a good resolution paper actually shows that you are significant and you actually made something important for the committee, you shouldn't forget that this is not the all actually topic. And of course the efforts, uh, by efforts I mean the attitude of the delegates, because since you may know that while you're coming to the conferences, there are so many rules, there are so many rules of procedures, and the way that you act basically matters in any seconds while you are wearing that dresses. So it is something important that how much you care and how much you are trying to basically obey and follow these rules. Because in the committee or in the coffee breaks or in any seconds, you should be aware of the fact that you are in a committee, you are basically at diplomats, you should basically have the diplomatic attitude towards your friends, towards your committee board, your academic team, everyone that actually our community has involved. So while you are respecting these people, or while you are connecting and communicating with these people, you should basically put the efforts to follow the rules that you should follow in the conference. So I believe that this one is the most important one, because you will see that so many delegates made amazing efforts to have in debate, to have ideas in debates, to write a good resolution paper, but acted pretty bad towards their chairs or their academic team members and didn't get any award. So you shouldn't forget the fact that the way you act is the most important thing that matters in our Model United Nations conferences. Uh, since you will be watched from the first day, from the first session until the last session, starting from your committee board, you should know that any kind of attitudes will be their notepad to be written, because their job, the committee directors and the academic teams, your undersecretary general's job is basically keeping up the records and giving the awards to the right people. To move on, I believe the most important part, since I believe that this is the most important part, actually I put the Metallica album, yes. What about the justice then? Because lately, in the beginning, I basically expressed that awards and the way that people, the people who are involved in the decision mechanisms made is basically harming the the environment of the Model United Nations conferences, because from the first day your MUN career until the last day, you will see some people that basically will not care these things, because I believe personally that in anywhere in the world that involves people, that involves human in it, there will be some unpleasant things that make you think that this was not justice at all. So at that point, please speak up, because you shouldn't never forget that the existing award system in the Model United Conference and United Nations, Model United Nations conferences matters. After 5 conferences, when people would like to take you as a committee board, for example, or as someone will be in an academic team, they will ask you your awards. If the awards that much important for the people in the Model United Nations environment, then you shouldn't forget the fact that these things shouldn't be something that should depend on the not objective ideas of individuals, basically, because most of the times you will see that your chairs, your committee board, and your undersecretary generals will do everything perfect, I believe. But sometimes the injustice will basically show its face so understandable and so easy to you that will basically make you quit the Model United Nations. I have so many friends that come to a first conference, their first conference, and show something in the committee, they don't like it, they believe that their committee board or their academic team basically did something not right, and they basically come out of the environment. So my suggestion is, please, if you saw this suggestion is for, of course, the MUNs and for also your whole life. If you saw and if you witness an unfairness that will make you basically unpleasant, please speak up, because the conferences that you're in and the environment that the Model United Nations has needs you. You are the people that basically creates the whole environment. There will not be any committee or there will not be any conference without delegates. So if the delegates believe that there's a problem about the justice system while in the decision mechanism of awards, please speak up. Tell that to the people that there was something unpleasant. Use the Monturkey reviews, because as you know that this is something that you can easily see what people think about a conference. Use the reviews, let your friends know, and please act. And of course, this shouldn't be the end basically of your MUN career. Don't forget that every MUN people you will see in your MUN career, starting from your committee board, starting from your academic teams, witness some injustice actions that basically make them unpleasant. But you shouldn't forget that this community needs people like you, people will basically make some decisions fairly. So without your existence, this community will not be there. So be with us and speak up against any kind of unfairness that you will witness related to the award policies. I believe that was for all from me. I just have a thank you slide lastly, and of course I wish to see with all of you again in Emiwan's in of course better days and more healthy world. Of course it will be perfect for us to have a Q&A session if you have any questions, of course.
Yes, if you have any questions, you can write on the chat box. But okay, seeing none, so thank you very much for your presentation and suggestion. And I also would like to thank all our esteemed participants to join us. So see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you.